My presentation is going to be on cystic fibrosis by Hailey. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder affecting the exocrine glands. It causes the production of abnormally thick mucus, leading to the blockage of the pancreatic ducts, intestines, and bronchi, and often results in respiratory infection. This defective gene causes a thick buildup of mucus and clogs the airways and traps bacteria, leading to the infections, lung damage, and eventually respiratory failure. A variety of symptoms for people with cystic fibrosis. The symptoms are concerning the respiratory tract and digestive tract. For the respiratory tract, the symptoms include thick mucus buildup in the airways that cause bacteria to grow and cause infections, persistent coughing, wheezing, and breathlessness, exercise intolerance, inflamed nasal passageway, and increased infections in lungs. In the digestive tract, the symptoms include poor weight gain and growth, intestinal blockage, and severe constipation. People with cystic fibrosis also have a symptom with having very salty tasting skin. Causes of cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is caused by a defective gene that changes a protein that regulates the movement of salt in and out of cells. This results in the thick mucus in the respiratory, digestive, and reproductive systems. The type of gene mutation is associated with the severity of the condition. Children need to inherit only one copy of the gene from each parent to have the disease. If they only inherit one copy from one parent, they will not have the disease, however, will be a carrier and possibly pass it to their children. Treatments for cystic fibrosis. Currently, there is no cure for cystic fibrosis, but there are treatments that can ease symptoms and reduce complications. The goals of these treatments are to prevent and control lung infections, remove mucus from airways, treat and prevent intestinal blockage. Options include antibiotics for lung infections, anti-inflammatories to keep the swelling down in the airways, inhalers, and oral pancreatic enzymes to help your digestive tract absorb nutrients. Prognosis for someone with cystic fibrosis. The average lifespan for a person with cystic fibrosis is 37 years. Most people get diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at a young age and usually stay in good health until they reach adulthood. Although research and medications have improved quality of life significantly, a person will eventually come to a point where this disease will disable them. At this point, they would need to get a lung transplant in order to avoid death. Statistics on cystic fibrosis. Currently, there are more than 30,000 people in the United States alone living with cystic fibrosis, and around 70,000 worldwide. About 1,000 new cases are diagnosed each year. 75% of the people are diagnosed by the age of 2. 50% of the population is 18 or over. Each time two genetic cystic fibrosis carriers have a child, the probability of having a child with cystic fibrosis is 1 in every 4 babies, which is about 25%. Wrap up. Although cystic fibrosis requires daily care, people with the condition are usually able to attend school and work. People who have cystic fibrosis now have a better quality of life than people who had cystic fibrosis in past decades. The hope is that with all the research that goes into cystic fibrosis, a cure will be found someday.